So I love that. That was really, really good. And Jacopo, thank you so much for introducing me to it, because I thought that had so much character, so much character. And the way it was building up, it was almost like it was telling a story. Everything he said with his voice had a sort of reaction that would happen to the music as well. And it was almost spoken word-esque, right, in his voice. Like he talks, but
Totally.
at the same time he sings in those chorusy parts and certain elements as well. And it's spacey, it's atmospheric. I feel like I was almost at his gig or at a theater, and it was almost like he was painting a picture, or he was painting a story out for me, and I was following it with the lyrics and with the words. It was great, really, really good.
Yeah, I thought it was really,
happy
really cool
to hear that.
For me, there's a few points. I thought it was super like atmospheric. I think you kind of touched on that, Mike, but you can kind of imagine it in like a big, almost like Royal Albert Hall, just filling the whole kind of place with his sort of, his sort of vibe he's giving off. It made me think though, because I know that Nick Cave is Australian, and it really made me think how interesting it is how in music you quite often don't get accents come through. Because listening to that, you don't think Australian, do you? And also, this is probably something that you may know, Jacopo, but I think you touched on it maybe last week, or if not the week before. But I think you mentioned that his son passed away. And there was a quote or a lyric in that song, which was, "I hope to see you again." I just wondered if that was potentially about his son.
Yeah, I actually wondered about that as well, listening to it. He died 2015, I think. I mean, I can check.
Okay.
Skeleton Tree came out in 2016. He had died recently. Let me just quickly look this up. He fell on the 14th of July, 2015. His name was Arthur, and he fell from a cliff at Ovingdean near Brighton. So I think they actually live in the UK, or at least he did at the time. And I think this was the twin brother of his other son. So it must have been a big loss. I don't know if that really, started a change maybe in his music as well. Nick Cave has always been very depressing, I think, with his music. I don't mean that in a negative way, but I feel like it's very heavy music that I can listen to for a little while, but at a certain point it becomes almost too much to bear, because for me it has such an emotional charge that it really becomes tough, especially the last albums with this atmospheric character. There was a little bit already in albums like Push the Sky Away, which was maybe 2013. Something of the sort. I'll just check the discography. Yes, Push the Sky Away was 2013. Whereas if you look at some of the older stuff, yes, there is the atmospheric aspect, but it's more sort of classic rock singer-songwriter, stuff like that. Anyways, I'm very, very happy to hear you both enjoyed this. I was worried. I think you'd find it easier to listen to, or I'd expected you to find it easier to listen to older Nick Cave, whereas this is interesting, and I'd love for you to listen to Skeleton Tree in particular, because I think that's one of the most beautiful albums ever. Nick Cave is very much also a poet, a writer. He's active as that as well. So he
bit of homework for Mike and I.
I think bit of homework.
But it's also really nice
of songs.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really nice to have a bit of a change of scene as well. Something a bit different, which compared to what we normally listen to. So yeah.
Good, and I want to jump on what you were talking about. How the way I'm describing Nick Cave in general, it's almost like a piece of art, isn't it? And it's like the way I was listening to it, I was almost picturing it as if I was live, and I was almost seeing the emotion on his face when he was actually singing the songs. And you're right, it is heavy in not the normal way we describe heavy. It's heavy in a more of an emotional way.
It feels weighty.
You can feel like his presence on your shoulders when you're listening to it, and you can almost feel like, whoa, Yeah, he's put so much into these tracks just because of the way his voice is. It's a very unique voice, and I would love to actually see him live. It would be amazing to be able to see that character performed live. Would be fantastic.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, completely agree.
No, I didn't want to, overhype the track or overhype Nick Cave. So I'm very happy to hear these things. For me, Nick Cave is one of the very few musicians who makes art, rather than just music. Because I think
Yeah.
if we make a parallel with the previous song and with my rating as well, and I'm not sure I'm going to rate this particularly highly, just because I feel with Nick Cave, I'll have to give a rating, but it's very difficult for me to give one because I feel with his music, you really need to get immersed in the entire album and listen to it a couple of times before you even start to really understand what's going on. Mike was talking about the story and the spoken word and the singing. All of his music is very much a story. So I think in his albums, he's really making a single, I guess, if you will, a concept album every time. So yeah, it's very interesting because the previous song, like I said, it was made to make music and to sell it and to make it catchy and to make it fun. Nick Cave, I think, makes art, and that really is what separates him from them, but also to a lot of the other bands that we've looked at in the past here, at least in my book.
It's amazing to see as well. Like, it's clear that you have a real passion for his music. It really comes across. It's brilliant. But, don't be too happy about how we react to it yet, because you haven't had our ratings yet. I'm sure we'll be nice.
I'll get ready for the 0.00010.
Speaking to us.
Well, who's going first?
I'll go first. I'm happy to give this a 6.8 for me. The reason why I would probably rate it less than 7 is not because it's something I listen to regularly, but I can definitely see the beauty in it, and I can definitely see the art of it, and it's something that I would love to listen to more to get to know Nick Cave, and I would love to see him live. I really want to see that live, and I want to see it. I want to see the atmosphere that he makes in that live sort of presence, and that's where I think you would really be able to suck in those the character and everything that he's portraying. So yeah, happy with a 6.8 from me.
Cool. For me, there's sort of two bases of my score. The first one, basically my score is 6.5. The reason for that is I was going to go higher, but there's two things. Firstly, I think I'd have rated that higher if I listened to the album front to back. I think Nick Cave is one of those where it's more of like a journey through the album, instead of just like individual songs that you pick out. But secondly, Jacopo, because of how much you sort of think that we would enjoy his earlier stuff, I feel like this will probably take a back seat if we listen to that, which I will. Next week, I'm going to give Nick Cave a good spin. So based on sort of the future projection of what I think how much I'd enjoy Nick Cave's music, and listening to the whole album as one, it's based on 6.5. If that makes sense. Sounds like I'm rambling, but I hope you get my thought process.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely fair, and that's something I mentioned earlier as well. I think with Nick Cave, you really do need to listen to the entire album, and a lot of his older stuff is difficult to approach as well. He's like we were saying earlier, all of his stuff carries a lot of weight. It's very emotionally charged, and it has, for me, very deep meaning. Again, I don't want to overhype it, and there's a lot of personal love, the passion that you said before. So I'm going to rate this a 7 just because I think it's a very good quality work. I need to listen to the entire album, and I need to get into it to really form an opinion, like everyone's been saying, I think. So
yeah, no, I would love to hear the album actually. And is the album out now then, Jacopo?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's out. So we can listen to it. I really do want to listen to the
Yes.
album from start to finish. Really see how it develops and where that song fits in for the whole story. Because you know, the way I look at songs in general, they're chapters almost of a whole story. And some albums, like the one that we're talking about, the A Day to Remember album, for example, has great chapters, but overall story is terrible. So, but I'm really hoping that it keeps in that sort of overall it has a great great narrative.
No, I think
Yeah,
you'll find that
agreed.
consistency is one of his strengths. I mean, he's been going for many, many years, consistently putting out great stuff. Also with Grinderman, which is his other band, also with Warren Ellis, which is a bit different, I guess, a lot more in the rock sphere. So I think you might enjoy that more if you listen to like No Pussy Blues or Electric Alice, Palaces of Montezuma. These are all Grinderman songs. I think you'd love those. But yeah,
Cool.
anyways, it was interesting to hear what you thought. So moving on to our next song.
So yeah, it's me next. I feel like I've got quite two hard acts to kind of follow, and I'm not sure this song is it really, but I'd be interested to hear what you think. This is a band called Spill Canvas, who I've actually not heard before, but they've been going since 2002, so you know they're quite an established band. The song is called Cost. I'd just be interested to hear what you think. I thought I listened to it first time I'd heard the band and thought, you know what, that sounds pretty good. So yeah, let's crack on. Spill Canvas, Cost.